Good evening, my fellow roofies. The Sideroof SMP is a multi-seasonal event spanning several time periods and often defying the rules of reality in its trademark boundary-breaking form of storytelling. As we approach the highly anticipated third season of this epic saga, we decided it would be a good time to take a step back and recap all of the events that have led up to this moment, in order to refresh your memory on all the twists, turns, and epic moments that have taken us to where we are today. Season 1. The details surrounding the creation of the Sideroof SMP are largely shrouded in mystery at this time. However, it is widely believed to have started on December 12th, 1981, with the arrival of Saul Minecraft Peterson. After discovering a remote island in the middle of a tropical ocean next to a beautiful coral reef during his expedition to find oil and gold and bitches, Saul founded the SMP. 40 years later, several members of the Sideroof group took over the island and began to form a society on the mountain. NT, the lovable goblin goofball, lived on the beach with his beloved turtle. He lived a peaceful life, occasionally playing funny little pranks on his fellow members. Oreo lived in a big raft, spending his time working to create a pleasant environment for himself and the others. Polar built a large wooden structure that some believe to be a house. Yeah, sure. Containing an elevator that led straight to the depths of hell. Wonder XO was part of the SMP for a while, but died tragically in a chest-related accident. A moment of silence. Max tried to create a functional medical funhouse in an attempt to uplift the spirits of the SMP, but was ultimately unsuccessful in their attempt. Sega was there. Glexander, a ruthless businessman and a cold capitalist at heart, that's me, decided to take control of the newly formed economy by capitalizing on the growing demand for food, creating a huge wheat farm to grow bread. Glex built an empire under his company, Glex Corp Industries Incorporated, creating a stranglehold on the entire island. As fishing was heavily frowned upon, Glex's product became the only viable source of food on the island, creating an oppressive monopoly which he used to take money and resources from the island's denizens. Meanwhile, Marin Karin, a recluse living alone on the mountain's eponymous peak with his two cats, Roger and Bobger H. Karin respectively, grew increasingly tired of Glexander's oppression, spending his time alone devising a plan to take down Glex's empire. With the power of friendship, Marin was eventually able to challenge Glexander to a duel on top of the mountain at sunrise, with the freedom of the SMP universe at stake. Glexander became mortally wounded in the bout, focusing all of his power towards one last gambit that would destroy the fabric of the universe. Roger H. Karin sacrificed his life to keep reality from falling apart, becoming a spiritual deity in the process. Marin wistfully looked off in the distance as Glexander took his last breaths, uttering his final words, "I'm dead." Ugh. In the background, Logan filmed the entire event for his cringe compilation, refusing to share the footage for future reference. Bobger H. Karin survived the chaos, escaping to a faraway land. Season 2. Logan spent years on a distant beach, attempting to find a way to revive the fallen Glexander. After a year of constant failure, he decided to investigate the big monkey statue that had been right in front of him the entire time. Inside the monkey, he had discovered a suspiciously shaped altar that fit a specific purple candle, the color of which instantly reminded him of the writer guy whom he spent his days trying to bring back. Logan scoured the earth, searching for a candle of this kind, eventually finding one at the bottom of the ocean in an ancient ruin obscured by flooded tunnels, along with a scripture in which archaeologists have yet to decipher. Meanwhile, the members of Sideroof find the island in their search for Bobger H. Karin, who they believed had relocated to the strange new place. As they arrive on the beach in their funny little boats, they discover a peculiar lone hut inhabited by an unknown man. The stranger invites the group to bear witness to the fruits of his labor, resurrecting Glexander. As the man rose from the dead, he immediately began accusing Logan of being the true villain of the SMP all along, causing the members to question who truly was the bad guy. The morality of the SMP's members was being brought into question. Polar Opposite decided to follow in Glexander's footsteps, attempting to create a capitalist empire reminiscent of the one he himself had been forced to live under during the first season, called Polar Industries. But then he gave up. He attempted to build a beach house, once again entirely out of wood, but ultimately sold it to Gary Winslow, played by Michael Cera, and then he gave up. He created a giant railroad, but then he gave up. He tried to build a glass dome, and then gave up. He tried to build a big platform on a mountain, and then he gave up. He started building a big mountain complex with an elevator, and then he gave up. He built Square, but then Marin, Logan, and the newly reanimated Glexander reunited with Bobger, Polar Opposite, on the beach and created a weird sitcom hype house. Logan built a big glass dome for reasons unknown, making friend and enemy along the way. During the construction of the hype house, a strange pond appeared inside the perimeter. Through experimentation, it was discovered that anything said inside the body of water instantly became canon, leading to the creation of the fabled Lore Lagoon. Marin began to develop a crush on an unknown member of the server as he created a beautiful display for the boat he rode in on. Logan and Marin each made a deal with Glexander, promising EPs in exchange for goods and services, some of which were eventually delivered. Others, not so much. Glex discovered/invented an entirely new purple block, and found a new passion in cartography during his retirement, using his maps as a front for his secret potato farm, which was seemingly not used for any specific misdeeds, as no other members ever found out about its existence. He also had 3 different beds for some inexplicable reason. They'll never know. However, in the background, Logan built a massive wheat farm rivaling that of Glexander's old empire, framing Glex for it. This had no effect, however, as again, no one actually ever found out about its existence. Marin created a secret lair that was uncovered in literally 3 seconds, and was then promptly destroyed. Polar helped the gang create a secret comedy prison thing behind a painting of Kanye rapper Pusha T. But then the Tragedy Club was created as a competitor, but without much success. Logan went mad with power and created the Womanizer, a powerful device capable of womanizing any individual who steps through its gates. Logan womanized himself, as well as creating several other alternate womanized variants of classic Sideroof characters, such as Marina, Logpog, and he eventually returned to his pre-womanized form, but he may be beyond saving. Glex created the Glex Closet inside the ruins of an unfinished house on the summit of a mountain. Ralph lived in a tank. They also had Porter Robinson's Look at the Sky on vinyl. Oreo built a weird dripstone altar, worshipping a false prophet. The altar covered a miniature wheat farm, which was destroyed by Glex in a fit of rage after Logan goaded him into committing a crime, as usual. Oreo spent his days going on excursions, exploring the unexplored, and breaking boundaries in the process. At home, he created an industrialized farm next to the monkey. He also tried to create a shack, but then he gave up. There was also an Among Us. NT decided to play God. Max built an infinitely deep 4x4 pit to throw Logan into, but then forgot about that and spent the rest of the season smoking crack and watching The Cave with Kenny Beats. Gore joined the SMP, but was put under quarantine and is no longer considered canon. Xerxes went to hell before he died, and his house is now unenterable. This is dubiously canon. Sega was also there. At the end of the season, Logan proposed to Marin, and a wedding was held on the beach, with Glexander officiating and all of Elise's friends in attendance. However, at the last minute, Polar Opposite objected, pressuring Marin into marrying him without his consent, killing both the Vibe and Logan. Glexander didn't really give a shit and married Marin and Polar anyway. After the wedding, a large party was held. It was like the final scene from Revenge of the Sith, but instead of a bunch of small bear people, it was a bunch of small roof people. Chips was there, and so were Elise's friends. There were a lot of them. A disproportionate amount. I don't even know most of their names. Jesus Christ, Elisa. I don't even know if Elisa herself was there, to be honest. Alex might have been there too. Bobger mysteriously disappeared during the festivities. His whereabouts are currently unknown. Anyways, that was Sideroof SMP's story up until now. This is a bit of a quick recap for you. Hope to see you soon in Season 3.